Good afternoon and welcome to McGee's Toolbox Talk. My name is George and I'm the Assistant Project Manager of Commonwealth House. Today we will be talking about winter conditions. Winter conditions poses a significant risk on site. We spoke about manual handling last week. Well, in winter conditions, you must consider everything we learned last week, plus the additional issues posed by the weather. For example, when the hands get cold, we have less control over them, less dexterity. This makes the dropping of a load far more likely. The grip we have over an object may be reduced by the materials having an icy surface following a frost. Materials which already have a slippery surface, for example, a scaffold tube, will become more difficult to handle in cold and wet environments. Suitable PPE is a must to increase grip. Ice and snow can form on the ground, making slips, trips and falls a great concern. This must be monitored and the necessary precautions taken, for example, salting walkways and introducing anti-slip surfaces. When inclement weather is forecast, we will designate a small team. The task of attending site early to clear snow from walkways, salt surfaces and ensure site services are working. Welfare services should be built to survive a cold winter. This can be achieved by making service runs inside the building and ensuring any external parts are well lagged. For extreme cold temperatures, it may be necessary to keep a small flow of water to reduce the risk of fluid freezing in the line. Cold temperatures also affect the materials we are using, for example, mortar and concrete. All of these can affect structural integrity, which can lead to collapse. Operatives performing fairly sedentary works outside, for example, traffic marshals or machine drivers with no cabs, will need additional PPE for protection against the cold. This will be assessed by site management and introduced where necessary. The additional clothing may consist of the following: thermal gloves, thermal base layers, and thermal head protection. If you are not provided this PPE, it is for your protection, so please use it. Frostbite is not just for mountain climbers. Low temperatures and winds can cause hypothermia, reduce alertness and dexterity. This is a serious concern for people who are working in confined spaces or they operate different kinds of machines. Weather tracking is a very important management tool in order to monitor weather conditions. As you can see, there is a cold front that is coming in from Atlantic. As you can understand, it's gonna be a blustery day. During the winter months, the days are shorter in regards to daylight but no different in relationship to the length of the working day. Therefore, we must cater for the reduction in natural light in each workplace and general access areas. This will be by way of temporary electric lights. This type of installation always has the potential to fade, so if you see that a light has gone out, please check the line. If it is plugged in and it is not working, then please report to the site manager so they can be changed. We will try to keep additional stock to cater for such issues. As a final thought for winter working, the reduction in natural light can also affect us mentally. This can be due to the disruption in your circadian rhythm, causing an overproduction of melatonin. This can make you feel more sleepy during the winter months. Also, the production of serotonin, the happy hormone, can be reduced due to absence of sunlight. These are serious concerns and they are difficult to come to terms with as there are no obvious external injuries. This has been a taboo subject in the construction industry for many years, as the macho nature of the industry and the mostly male environments don't make it easy to discuss mental problems. This is primarily due to a lack of education, but we are improving every year and will continue to do so. These issues affect 1 in 4 of us every year, so feel free to talk to us.
Talk to me.
Talk to me.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
Talk to me.
We'll make time to listen to you. We're going to show you a very short film from the time to change mental health campaign. More information will be available on this campaign afterwards, and we'll be running small discussion forums on this topic to increase awareness.
I was on my sofa.
It was at his house.
It was after work.
I was in the living room.
I just made 2 cups of tea.
Took my boots off, sat down.
I told one of my oldest friends.
I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to be talking about.
How will I, what words will I use and how will I say this?
Oh my goodness, what's going to be revealed here?
There's this stigma attached to not only mental health, but how we approach talking about mental health.
He sat and listened.
I saw his honesty as a strength.
I felt relieved. So relieved.
There's no grand statements or gestures.
I send her a picture on Facebook and she knows then that I'm thinking of her.
There are some days when I wake up and I won't feel as sparkly as I usually feel, and without me even saying anything, he will bring me a cup of tea.
He's just the same person.
It's just normal.
Whatever way you feel comfortable in whatever environment, just start that conversation.
Go for a walk with your mate. Go for a coffee.
Just the smallest thing can make the biggest difference.
Small things can make a big difference when it comes to mental health. Search Time to Change online to discover the small things you can do.
A lot of people every year are affected by winter conditions, so please stay warm, wrap up, and please don't let it happen to you. Before we have a final word from David Tobin, our site administrator, I'll hand you over to Mr. John Dempsey.
Good morning, lads. Hope everything's good. Last week's safety review was quite good. Mace's safety woman pulled us for a few little bits and pieces of access in the basement. That is addressed, and we tried to keep on top of that. What he's pulled us for this week is the flow pipe. That's the toilet pipe down in the basement. We need to spray that with paint, which we'll do that now shortly. And the hit and miss mass fill between the pads in the basement. There was a manual handle element in that she picked up on. We'll address that today. That is all we were tugged for, lads, so everything's good. Well done, thank you.
Thanks, George, for another cracking Toolbox talk. Join us next week when we're talking about Wheels disease.